Alrighty, and here we are with Booker T versus Owasso, the losers finals.
Ready for battle.
We have gone through the entirety of the lower bracket, and Booker T, who lost their initial match in round 1, has fought their way up to losers finals, which is going to be a best of 5. Now we see Booker T running the hog comp into this map. Owasso running that Sigma that we saw them run against BA. Hopefully they have a little bit better of a time against Booker T with it. Booker T kind of split up right now, just trying to get that initial pick on Owasso. We are seeing a Pharah Mercy comp on a team that is and a huge hook coming out from Hog. Unable to get the kill, though. Both teams just waiting for someone to get that initial pick. Ooh, and it's going to be Sigma. Pharah coming in with an ult from behind, able to get those other couple of picks, especially plus the nano. And that's going to give Booker T enough time to get quite a bit of percentage here. Owasso has all 5 ults coming into this next fight. You need to make sure that they're timing them properly, getting a lot of value out of them. I mean, especially in such a close quarters, this should be the perfect place to walk out and get a really nice signal.
And we are going to see the High Noon engaged. Owasso starting to walk in with that Sigma comp, and what a rock onto the Mercy.
We did also watch Sojourn attempt to use ult and immediately get hooked and killed, getting absolutely no value out of it.
The Roadhog versus Sigma is definitely a very interesting matchup. It's about pressuring that Pharah Mercy. You can't let that Pharah get the off angle. They are going to get a hook onto the Sigma, and he's going to be kind of done for. Not a lot they can do there, but Pass just ego rolls right into him. Meanwhile, Sojourn gets to the nano and wakes up the sleeping Roadhog. He kind of knows that he's going to die, but he kills the Pharah. He gets good damage onto the Ana. Sojourn knew he was going to die, but might as well take a few. The shield was just unfortunately not going to be there to stop the shot from the Roadhog. And now we are neck to neck. To see the Sigma going to be engaged here, isn't quite going to get anything, and is going to be just a waste of an ultimate. They're going to try to peel and kill the Roadhog, but they got to make sure no res happens here. Everyone low HP. Mercy is going to try to flee and help the Reaper get out. 90%. Got to be careful about getting hooked here. Does get away with it. Gonna have to run away a little bit. Roadhog looking for that hook. It is gonna get blocked. It all comes down to a fight like this. Sojourn's gonna engage the ultimate. Pharah gets the kill, but we are gonna see the Mercy get traded. Cannot hit that shot on the Pharah. 91%, and Owasso's not looking good. Can Sigma get on the point and get the touch? Yes, he can, but we see this Reaper ult is online. Flux is gonna get taken, but now we're gonna see that Reaper ult. It's like a bronze 3 Reaper ult if I've ever seen one. Still looking for it, but honestly, the team's already killed so many people. And they're gonna finish that fight out. And Booker T takes the round. What do you think Owasso did wrong there? I liked the Sigma pick, but it just looked like their utilities, the getting hooked by Booker T, it was just too much for them most of the time. And once again, Far Mercy is a nightmare for Owasso.
Yeah, we're consistently seeing that even though Owasso at this point knows how to deal with the Far Mercy, which they showed while they were playing with Broken Arrow, they understand what they need to do, but it's the actual doing it that matters. And they're not really getting back and actually, at least with the Roadhog, like getting those hooks on the Far Mercy, or in the case of Reflex, going in and taking care of them with that hit scan.
It's a battle to get your second DPS to get the value that you're wanting. Now we're getting the Roadhog v Roadhog. Maywall engaged here from Booker T. Gonna try to get the hook kill onto the other hog. It's not gonna be enough. But Sojourn finally getting the kills that they're desiring. Picks left and right for Owasso. And that's gonna be their point. Now that's the kind of value you want from your DPS players, and ultimately that's what's going to decide this game. Roadhog looking for the hook.
Roadhog v Roadhog. Who's going to get their hook first?
Oh, he gets his hook before the other, but the nade is going to cause issues for both teams. And ultimately, OJ is not going to be able to get out of that one. Another amazing hook from Owasso, and Cass locking it down onto that Far Mercy is going to try to get out of here. 45%.
Far ult going out, getting a kill and killing herself, I think?
It does look like that. We see Owasso, 5 ultimates on the board. Meanwhile, Booker T looking to have about 4 into this next fight.
I mean, both of them are in a great place to both hold and protect. It's just going to be up to how Owasso wants to take this, because they've got plenty of time. We're only at 20% here.
Checking in. I'll make it worth your while. Let the Kitsune guide you. It's your time.
A lot of ultimates are going to be engaged here.
Yeah, both hog ults.
But that hog ult from Booker T just got so much value. But the nade is going to try to get the kill, and they're going to trade Roadhog. This May ult is going to spell problem. And what do you know? The Mercy res.
Efficient design at work.
That fight, really, OJ getting that Roadhog ult through the carry ult was huge. Super well played, as Cassidy is saying. Roadhog trying to get a sneaky hook, but doesn't want to get hooked himself. Here we go. We're going to see this fight once again. Nade is going to be used from Owasso. There's that hook. And then Nano did not land on the person that they wanted. Meanwhile, Cass is kind of playing this long angle, and his team just isn't doing anything with the space. A nice kill from Cass, but this might be the last fight. Cassidy locking in, not giving up on a half HP.
They took so long to kill the Cass.
And his teammates were not capitalizing on the space he made, but it's not over. Please Carry Me is here to carry if he can live. He gets the Surge, but he's going to trade with his other Sojourn. And now Mercy's back in the fight to get the res. And that looks like Booker T is going to wrap this one up, potentially. And it's too much. And that's going to be first map. Booker T.
Play of the game. Ready for battle.
I hope those who
All
died
right,
defending
and
this
we
place
are back
have found
with Booker
peace.
T and Owasso. Second map, Eichenwald. A new map, something we haven't seen yet. Definitely going to be interesting, a fun thing to watch.
Particle cannon online. Let's run them over.
Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers incoming.
All right, and here we go with Booker T on the attack. We still see that Roadhog. Really wants to get some really good hooks. Misses the first one though. Owasso getting a great pick to start. Booker T, sorry. Yeah, getting that pick on the Mercy. Now they're able to push forward. Hog just missing, catching Reaper in the middle of a Mei wall. It looks like Booker T is going to get the point. Owasso does not want to try to touch here.
Stop the payload.
We can't let them keep pushing. Stop that payload.
I mean, they're definitely wary of the Hog now. Don't want to let him get any of those hooks. Pull anybody out of line.
Thanks for the help.
Yeah, Mercy able to get the res out. Sojourn holding a hard angle. Ooh, and is able to get a pick on the other one. Are we going to see an ult usage here? I think, yeah. We're at least going to see the nano coming out.
Two down. Cybernetics regulating.
Missed most of the right clicks, but at least was able to get those kills. Hog does not want to let Zarya get away. I mean, Booker T is just making so much space. They're consistently pushing forward. A grab, but a Mei wall is blocking it. They weren't able to go in. Some great kills coming out of Owasso, getting that usage out of OC. Booker T has made plenty of space so far. Just needs to push up a little bit further. They're throwing out plenty of ults, not really able to take the space, just pick after pick. Owasso is holding pretty strong here. We are about to see another nano. We have nano on both sides. One does have OC though.
This ends now.
Yeah, and there it is. But how much are we going to get out of it? There's one, there's two. A third, and then a fourth by OJ is able to give Booker T enough room to push forward. Zarya jumping down, maybe was trying to make that jump, or was just jumping down so that they could regroup afterwards.
Make it worth your while. Area denial.
Owasso may have a chance to touch here if they want to try to contest. Looks like they will. A grab coming out, getting a lot of... And Hog pushing them off of the point. 0.01 meters. All they need to do is have him step off for a second. May rushing in to touch the point. And a Reaper ult. They do not want to let Booker T get that 0.01 meters. Okay.
Area denial.
So sitting up top with the OC.
Just what I was looking for. Dodge this.
Was waiting for May to come out of ice. We do see that we are going to have a Kiri ult. We've got Mercy ult and another Soj ult on Booker T's side. It's just about who's gonna go in and make that first play and get that first kill. All right, the Kiri ult, they're pushing forward. OC not able to get anything. Ooh, and a nasty sleep by Ana is going to make that OC not get any value there. Sojourn did not like that the May did that. All right, Booker T can re-engage with almost 5 ults. Are we going to see another OC nano here? It got them a lot of value last time. If they can try to go around, which it looks like they are, coming in from the back line, and gets one. Ooh, just misses the other and falls into the pit. And a huge grab comes out. The Mercy revive. Getting that healer back up. A great hook. They're just falling one after the other. Pulling out of the Reaper ult. This Hog and the pulls have been insane. All of these games that we have seen from Booker T. And we're getting into the final push. Owasso also switching to the Hog, trying to match Hog for Hog, but is caught behind the May wall. They aren't able to get the kill. Soj waiting for them to pull around the corner to pop that OC. Is gonna have a Soj off, loses. Maywall pushing forward, allowing them to stay on point longer, trying to keep everybody back. And once again, we have Nano. And the trade of the Sojes. OJ throwing out the Hog ult in order to make space. We've got Kiri ult for the engage, but it's just not going to be fast enough.
Kill confirmed.
And Booker T is going to complete the round.
0 to 3. Switching sides. Initiating match.
We saw that Owasso swapped right there at the end to try to match the Hog v Hog. And I honestly think they either probably should have stayed Zarya or they probably should have gone something else sooner. I think that it was fairly obvious from the beginning that the Zarya wasn't necessarily working. They needed to make a change, they needed to make a swap, and they didn't do it fast enough. So I think in this next one, especially on defense, especially on attack, Owasso needs to figure out what their game plan is
You're in the presence of a legend.
and push hard.
Systems online. Weapons ready.
We're going to see an Orisa comp coming in from Owasso on this attack. It's going to be interesting because Orisa will give them that space to use spin, push forward, and get that initial bit on the on this first point, because it is very hard to push past this choke.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Booker T with the classic hog comp. All Hog needs to do is get a really good pull. Yeah, Owasso waiting for Orisa to do that first engage onto the Hog. A huge sleep by Ana, stopping the Orisa in her tracks. Yeah, and Owasso has to spend a second regrouping. Hog just throwing those traps out. It's great for slowing them right at that corner so that they can get a lot of value out of it. And Sojourn is able to just sit here on the back line. Nobody's contesting it. Getting so much damage, so much ult charge. Already has ult going into this fight. Orisa ult is able to get the kill on the Ana. That's huge. Pushing forward, keeping the Mei off point long enough. All they have to do, get rid of the Mercy. I definitely think it was the right choice to swap. Orisa was a great choice from Owasso, giving them the ability to push up onto point to get that value. And now they're going to have three ults almost coming into this next fight, this long push, which is going to be great for Ana. Gives Ana a lot of room to maneuver. Now from Booker T, we are going to see that Hog is getting really close to ultimate.
Area denial.
They need to get a couple of good hooks, but Genji unable to blade because the Ana snipes him with the sleep. And the pull from the Hog. The Orisa goes flying.
I'll make it with your
Booker T showing the same reasons why with this Hog. All they need to do is pull that tank or pull one person out of line and the rest of the team will just fall apart. I mean, this comp relies on Orisa being the one to push forward and to do those initial engages. And without Orisa, they just don't have enough tankiness. Genji hiding behind the Mei. Owasso came up with a plan. They made some swaps, and they are being aggressive. They are pushing forward, and Booker T, I guess, wasn't ready for it. I think Booker T here needs to figure out what they need to change. They're winning fights, they're getting kills, but they're just not stalling long enough. They're not keeping that point from moving. Genji has ults. I don't think he needs to jump in just yet. He might want to wait. Ana is going to have Nano. We might see a Nano Blade here fairly soon. But last time, Booker T just shut down the Genji when Ana was able to get a nasty sleep. Let's see if they can get it off once more. Booker T has 4 ults versus Owasso's. Nano coming out with the OC. 1 kill on the Ana before the Nano. Another one on the Kiri. Both supports are down. Gonna get speared and stalled out of the OC. Has done so much damage, gotten so many kills that it's going to force Owasso back. Owasso still has plenty of resources and able to push forward. They've got 3 minutes 25 seconds. That's plenty of time. They just need to regroup, use some ults, get those kills, and push forward. They do not have much left to get this to 3-3 so that we go into overtime. Let's see the Nano Blade here. There it is, the Nano Blade pushing forward. There's one getting out of the freeze. The sleep misses. That's 3 kills going up. They got to get rid of this hog. This hog is going to stay alive forever. Wonderful, wonderful kill. A great stagger on the Mercy. And Booker T is fighting back with all they can, but they are not going to have enough time to touch, and that is going to be Owasso getting a full cap. We are going to overtime.
Score 3-3. Switching sides. Initiating match.
Oh, and it looks like we did have somebody disconnect. We do have a tech pause real quick. As we're sitting here waiting for the players to reconnect, let's go over what we have seen in these past 2 games with Owasso and Booker T. Because we're restarting some computers, but with Booker T, we've seen consistently that hog comp being able to pull those tanks out, being able to pull people and get that util simply by making sure that they aren't able to get into a proper position. I mean, Owasso wants to play in a particular position. They want to make sure that they're getting the value, especially out of their comps that aren't necessarily dive. They're not necessarily trying to be in the backline. They're trying to be consistent, on point, pushing forwards. And with Booker T, they simply run the hog, and as soon as they get a hook out, especially in this case on the Orisa, Owasso can just fall apart. So I think Owasso definitely needs to make sure that they have a counter to that hog. They've been getting some great sleeps from that Ana. And I'm interested to see what we are going to be running when we get into overtime. But we will be right back. All right, and back into the game we go. Once again, I'm very interested to see what these teams are going to do. They've already played both sides against each other. Owasso knows that Booker T is most likely going to be playing hog, especially because they get to attack this time.
Ready for battle.
Yeah, and it looks like Owasso is going to be staying on that Orisa comp. From Booker T, we are going to see a Pharah, Mercy, and a Junkrat. I only think we've seen one other Junkrat here.
They have this coming, so let's give it to them.
It is 3-3. Booker T's attack. Let's see how far they can push.
1. Attackers incoming.
I imagine Booker T wants to be fairly aggressive here. That's why they're running with that Pharah. Pharah coming out off to the side and is immediately going to get punished. Just taken out. Hog looking for a nice hook here. Booker T, though, is saying absolutely not. Or Owasso, I'm sorry. And Reflex is destroying Booker T. They only have 15 seconds left. They have a little bit of time to try to get up here with a touch. They probably need to switch to something fast. But it looks like they are going to try to stay hog and rush in as quickly as possible. Lucio going in, getting speared. Absolutely insane. Sojourn is trying to touch, but Orisa is there waiting with the spear, stopping them from touching the point. All Owasso needs to do is get a single tick,
Score.
and they will tie this game up.
Switching sides. Initiating
3 minutes and 11 seconds for Booker T to hold a single tick. It's going to be very difficult, and I'm wondering if it's going to be the right call for Booker T to run this hog comp that they've been running. We'll have to see.
ready for battle.
And there it is. We see a switch up. They are running Sigma. They want to hold this point for 3 minutes. It's going to be very difficult. And I'm wondering here if Mercy is the correct choice. Sure, they do get a res. It might be nice if they lose somebody right there in the beginning, but they're losing out on a lot of possible util. I mean, they could use On a Sleep, the grenades, Kiri Cleanse. There's plenty of things that they could be doing other than running on the Mercy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
All right, Owasso has been getting really good picks with this Orisa comp, and they are going to stick with it, but they're running the sim for the TP strats. They just want to get onto point and get that tick so that they can win this round. It has been a long game, and they are ready to end it. A short sim TP, I think they probably missed there, but it's okay. Orisa able to just rush up onto point. Sigma trying to hold best he can, throwing out that rock. Genji wants this Mercy dead, but is unable to get those final hits. Orisa is dead. They definitely need to back up right now. They have plenty of time. They just need to regroup. They can't be losing anybody here.
Dodge this.
We're going to see Owasso swap over to the Sigma. Sigma v Sigma. Oh, and trying to use his ult, but dies in the middle of it. This is huge. This is so bad for Booker T. They cannot afford to lose anybody else. Mercy is here, potentially could get the res, but yes, Mercy's going to get the res on the BAP. But there's so many dead at this point that I don't know that. And the Sigma, I don't know if they're going to have enough time. Sigma does get back on a point. The Sigma v Sigma catches him in the ult. And Booker T held it. Owasso was able to get Booker T off the point just long enough to get that one tick. And Owasso has tied it up 1-1. An absolutely amazing game, and we will be right back for the next one.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Alrighty. And here we go. 1-1 in this series. Of course, all these teams winning their map picks. And now we are going to be on a Flashpoint. We've seen a lot of Flashpoint today. But this map in particular seems to be like the most. Not a whole lot of New Junk City love. Reflex immediately getting that pick onto the Juno. But this hook could spell a lot of trouble. But I don't know. I've seen a lot of Roadhog gameplay now from both these teams. Locking it down. As we'd love to see. Hook's going to try to get sent. It's not going to land what they were wanting. Now they're going to peek. Meanwhile, Owasso getting that percentage. But a big nade on the Please Carry Me. Might just be a little too much for them to handle. Juno really low HP. Trying to play up. Now Owasso is going to have to fall back. Make sure the healers survive here. Ooh, but a massive sleep on the Juno. In a little bit of a scary situation. The Sojourn from Booker T has performed so well throughout these maps and has really made an impact onto the team of Owasso. And now Owasso's going to get staggered here. They're going to have to regroup. Meanwhile, Booker T taking tons of space, and that Sojourn dominating.
Area denial. It's go time.
Booker T at 90%. Owasso needs to push forward. And just the jiggle peeking, able to get that cast in the middle of his ult.
Creates so much space, and ultimately Owasso's not really able to do a whole lot there. Have to rotate without getting picked. Owasso is gonna get sight, but they gotta be careful. It's Booker T is fully grouped up and ready to walk this. A big hook and nade. You just can't do that. Owasso was not ready to cleanse it. And nasty hooks coming up from Booker T.
Yeah, they've been so consistent with those hooks, being able to pull people out. And then this Soj is just not missing.
Straight dominating these games right now. Booker T dropped into losers at the very beginning to Sequoia, but I do not believe they've dropped a single map in this last section. I believe they were completely 0 or 2-0. But we finally seeing those picks coming out from the Tracer on Reflex. And now Please Carry Me is done with the Roadhog gameplay and wants to lock the Orisa. Understanding that the Roadhog diff is too much and that nade is way too punishing from Booker T. Booker T is going to regroup. Get ready to go in here. They got 72%. They really just got to win one fight, and they're guaranteed to have this point. Pressure on the sideline, looking to build that pulse bomb. Putting the pressure on the Sojourn. We're seeing that cleanse already engaged here. Orisa no gold. It's going to be a prime time to get a hook. The hook isn't quite able to get what they're wanting. Orisa now walking down that space. The nano to Orisa. And it is just so much damage flying all over the place. Orisa needs to live. They're gonna look to use this ultimate. Hawk can't really touch, and I think that's it for that point. That's a score on the board for Owasso. We saw Owasso take the initiative there, play extremely aggressive, and take that space before they could even engage on the point. And that's really what gave it to him. Owasso engages the Kyrie ult, and now they're gonna do this OC nano that we've seen so many times. Not quite able to land the right click onto the Tracer, but once again, this Sojourn for Booker T is doing a lot with this DPS line. Ooh, and a little bit of a Copper 5 Reaper ult. But he's going to be countered. But Orisa can't quite get the Hog off the edge. Gonna try to get this Hog killed. Now you're going to walk in, get this Ana. Now Owasso's finally going to be able to take this point. Unless they don't want to cap. 77 for Booker T. We've seen this one before. Booker T took a high percentage on the last point, but was ultimately pushed out by Owasso. Let's see how they want to play this. I mean, take a look at the ult economy. All around, very solid for Booker T. We got to see what they want to do with that Reaper ult, or if it's going to get predicted once again. Reaper probably looking to go onto this Ana very soon, while his team is forced to back up. The Reaper ult is engaged, but his whole entire team is in a different world. But they are still able to kill the Kiri. Reaper gets out with his life. Orisa has the ultimate and nano, and ultimates are going to be engaged. Huge kills. And this might just be another point for Owasso. I feel like the issue you just ran in there was Booker T is taking so long to take space. They're not fighting on point because they're spending so much time backing up and regrouping. Owasso goes from 0 to 100, while Booker T was at 77.
Yeah, I think definitely going into these next couple, I say these next couple, this last point, because they don't have a lot left. They need to make sure that when they're pushing on a point, they're pushing on a point. Like, it needs to be a choice.
And there's going to be another pick, landing onto the Reaper. Bull walking it down right now, and now the OC is going to get 3. Can it be enough? And it does look like it will be a Booker T point. But can they hold on to it? Are they going to be forever stuck? Meanwhile, Tracer, okay, staggered a little bit. All intentional.
Definitely.
Definitely. Take a look at the ultimates here. We got 2 ultimates for Booker T. Meanwhile, Owasso has that old famous Reaper ult. Let's see if Reaper teleports in the middle of 5 people and tries to press Q. We shall see. I've seen this one before. Reaper on the flank is going to engage the ultimate and get the kill on the Reaper, but then going to be killed by the Roadhog Sojourn. They're putting a lot of pressure onto this Roadhog, but I feel like it's a little misread. Orisa needs to help his team, and the ult is going to be engaged, but it's not quite going to be enough. You got to be really careful because this Roadhog can get a good boop, and it could be the end of them. But a big sleep, immediately going to get woken up. Orisa in the middle of all of this, The nade isn't going to land in time. Now we're going to get a clean take for Booker T. 2-2. What do you think allowed Booker T to win that last round?
I mean, I think they were getting those picks. They were pushing people off to the side. They were getting the initial kills that allowed them to then essentially steamroll. And we've seen that this Roadhog is just not missing his hooks for the most part.
And we see that Orisa walking it down is going to get hooked in the middle of their team, but nobody able to quite damage the Orisa. Now we're going to see that OC, but the spear is going to try to get landed here. Can he kill the Ana? Yes, he can. He's going to keep walking it down on this backline. Finally going to get punched by the Reaper, but this fight is still neck to neck. Anyone's game, but the Orisa is still alive. Walking it down on the 1 HP backline. Reaper with the tag team finally getting the kills, but he's going to get killed by Roadhog. But they ultimately are going to have to back up and regroup. And Owasso takes the point. See here, Kiri taking the off angle. Making sure the team can play down main, as well as defend high ground a little bit from the Sojourn. The Sojourn for Booker T is a menace.
The Sojourn and needing to avoid all of the potential hooks coming from this hog.
Oh, but Kiri is challenged on high ground, and this spells a really bad position. But the spear into the Reaper to stop the ultimates. I don't know if you commit to this. I feel like you back up. You gotta reset. As amazing as that spear was, it's just not worth to overcommit to it. And look at Owasso's ultimates compared to Booker T. 2 support ults versus 2 DPS and a tank. Still anyone's fight. That nano can really change a fight in a second, as well as Kiri ult. We haven't seen the strongest Reaper ults, but if they can get a solid solo kill, it might be enough. Let's see it.
Tracer looking for that bomb, but immediately needs to use the recall.
Pulse is going to be engaged, but immediately going to get naded by the other Ana. Reaper going
Reaper
in.
coming through.
Efficient design at work.
But they're going to back up and reset. The fight was not what they wanted. Booker T got away with that with only using a Kiri ult. Meanwhile, Owasso used a Orisa and Reaper ult.
They've got a touch.
Got Owasso on the Tracer, getting ready, but they're ready. Can he touch? He gets the touch. Also trying to walk it down, but the Ana is killed.
They just lost so much here. I don't know that they're going to be able to, even with the Kiri ult. The Orisa has to hold that forever.
The biggest problem you're running into is your Orisa. Just in a hectic sequence, it's too much. Booker T gonna take map 3.
I think in that book, Owasso just let that Sojourn walk all over their backline, and it ended up costing them.
This ends now.
We saw this many a times, but the OC with the nano, just too much. They're able to walk it down onto their back line. A good round, and we'll be back in just a short break.
All right, and we are back with Owasso, Booker T. Booker T was able to take that last map. And now we get to see the push. How are we going to change things up? Booker T seemingly running the same comp. It was working for them before. Owasso switching back to the Orisa comp.
Now go get it.
Owasso is going to be the first person to get a kill. Immediately traded by Booker T. This Sojourn means business. I mean, Owasso is getting a pretty big push here already. Booker T needs to make sure that they get a couple of picks. This hog needs to get a good hook, get somebody out of position here.
Our push is underway.
Hog is low. Ooh, Sojourn jumping on top of the Kiri.
I'm on my game now.
A good pick. Wonderful hook from Hog. Isn't enough to get the kill, but definitely forces them back a little bit. They're still trying to push the point. As Booker T jumps down and is coming up from behind. A massive hook. Again, still just not able to get the kill. And Orisa coming out with the ult. Punishing them for pushing around. They tried to jump down, tried to come around the back, but then Orisa and everybody turned around and said, absolutely not, use the ult, use their resources, and got a lot of kills. This is a very big lead for Owasso on this map. 3 ults coming up from Owasso, 4 from Booker T. When are we going to see these be used? It's time for Booker T. One kill, and is not going to be able to get the second. Cass on 1 HP. Just not dying, finally.
What's up?
Booker T finally has control. They have a lot to push in order to break even, but they have plenty of time. They just need to play this carefully. They need to use that hog hook. They need to get people out of position so that they can get those kills. And the Sojourn needs to just continue whatever they are doing, because whatever it is, it's working. They do have Kiri ult here. They can definitely engage, but Owasso does have 3 ults to use into it. So gotta choose the right time here. Getting that push, able to take out the Orisa. It's going to create a lot of space because Owasso has to back up. They're not going to be able to fight the hog in their condition right now. It's going to be real hard for this cast to get any good util out of his ult when all they have to do is use their hook hog. So I think they need to make sure that they're calming that hook. Kiri coming in from the side, putting in a lot of pressure on the Ana as Cass pulls up. Completely ignores the hog, going for the backline and gets slept by the Ana, and is going to get taken out and punished for trying to jump down onto the backline. Owasso still has 3 ults. They need to make sure they're using them. Booker T has 4. These teams are being very economical with their ults, waiting until the right time. Orisa able to get 1 kill. A massive spear. Enough to push Owasso back. Owasso almost got that lead, and it's going to be much easier for them to go back if they ever retake. So Owasso needs to make sure that they make this push count. They need to keep up this lead as long as possible. OC gets 1. Was about to get another, but the hog came in and said, "It's mine." And Orisa is unable to do anything on her own. We do see Ana off to the side. Are they going to be able to get her? Yes, they are. Booker T is just getting so much value. Owasso, I haven't seen this Cass ult. He's waiting until Overwatch 7.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
Akiri ult, great time to engage. Rushing in, all of the ults being used at once. Owasso throwing everything in the game at them. Getting plenty of kills. Owasso is able to keep their lead for a little bit longer. That's exactly what they need to do. They don't necessarily.
I'm under attack. Be healed.
All Owasso needs to do is hold their lead. Booker T coming up with 3 ults. Owasso only has Orisa ult right now. They might get Nano here pretty soon, though. A great nade, forcing Orisa to step back, allowing Booker T to retake that space. Is Booker T going to jump down? No, it looks like not. Orisa's going to rush up with the Nano. Only gets 1 kill out of it. Yeah, and here comes Owasso jumping down. But Booker T is retaking control here. They only used 1 ult in that last fight. They have plenty. They can make a really good push here as long as they can consistently get some kills. And there it is once again. I mean, they need to be wary of this hog. Plenty of ults here from Booker T. Which ones are we going to see first? Genji and we're seeing both TPS ults from Owasso are going to be up here in just a second. We've got the Kitsune into the OC, rushing into the back. A Blade looking for those kills. Booker T not going to use ults in response. They know that they can save them. There's 1:30 left. We're going to get a team wipe. Owasso is just consistently keeping this lead. They do not want to give it up. Booker T didn't use very many ults. I think they used Kiri ult. But they saved the rest. They need to make sure that this push counts because they've only got 1 or 2 more. Nano getting thrown out and an immediate double kill from the Sojourn. And there we see all of the ults being used to regain that control. I don't know if they needed to use all 3 of them. Because now they almost don't have anything. They have Hog ult to get to push people away and maybe make some more space, but they're going into an Orisa ult, probably a Nano here in a little bit. Booker T needs to get a really good pick here. Oh, and is stunned out of the hook. A massive ult here from OJ. I was talking about how Booker T only had 1 ult to use. OJ said, that doesn't matter, I'm gonna get 4 kills. Owasso coming in with Nano. We are in overtime, so all they need to do is get a couple of kills. Owasso just needs to push a tiny bit. And Genji is going to die at 85%. Booker T refuses to die. Sojourn coming off to the side. Reaper from behind. Not able to get the kill. And here we have the blade. Is it going to get anybody? Yes, we get one. We get two. It's going to be a massive blade. All they need to do, they need to regroup. Owasso needs to come back out, and they need to push them off of the point. OC being used is pushed off the point just long enough for Owasso to get the victory, bringing this to 2-2. Some absolutely phenomenal games here in the losers finals. Whoever wins this next game is going into grand finals against Broken Arrow. Can Owasso win the game and go from losing against Broken Arrow back to it to have another game to potentially win the entire thing? Or can Booker T come all the way from the bottom, losing in their first round, to come through to grand finals and win? We will have to see in this next game.
Turning to the earth keeps the
Nice. Here we go. Round 5. 2-2. Owasso. Booker T. What are your predictions for this map?
I mean, every single time that we've watched these games, they've been really close. Booker T has been getting so much value out of this Roadhog, and Owasso has been running this Orisa in order to try to stop it. And it's a hit or miss, because it's all up to whether the Roadhog hits those hooks, can get people off out of the line.
We're immediately going to see the Sojourn getting picked. And now they're going to have to fall back for a second. Meanwhile, Sojourn's going to immediately walk up here, try to put the pressure on the Genji, but a massive sleep.
Getting punished.
And that's the great thing about running this Orisa comp. You can just punish anyone that wants to watch the side. You get the sleep, you get the spear, you get the nade.
Some of these Orisa spears have been insane.
Well, I mean, please carry me likes to say they need to get carried, but more like they are carrying a lot of these fights. We see Roadhog take that high ground aggression, trying to force the space. Genji's going to go on an engagement, and a big deflect keeps them in this fight, but it's not going to be enough. Genji's going to get punished. Now they have that one up. Missed the hook onto the Sojourn. Reaper walking backline.
Yeah, I mean, I think Booker T is just consistently pushing forward. It's nothing grand. It's nothing like we saw with Edison's games where they were really pushing through and immediately going in. Booker T is just consistently walking.
They're getting that point for free. Meanwhile, Sojourn's been dead almost every single fight now. We're gonna see the Nano coming out from the Roadhog. And they're just gonna be walking it down. They're probably gonna get this cap for free.
I think we're outnumbered.
Carrie's gonna try to get away with her life. Barely able to do it.
feels much better.
Big hook, and this is the problem for Owasso. Every fight, they're down one. You gotta respect the hog though.
Well, and it's been proven to them over these past 4 or 5 games that Booker T is going to get those hooks, and this Sojourn is going to walk and get these picks. So at this point, Owasso needs to make sure that they're moving to counter that. Like, they can't be letting it happen. Especially not now when it is the last game. Whoever wins this moves on to grand finals. And whoever loses is out of the tournament. Like, this is the last time that you have, and Owasso is coming up on 5 ults. We need to make a great hold here, and Nano Blade getting thrown out. Not seeing any kills with it. Is Nano Blade not going to get anything?
That is not what you want, but at least you got some space. And meanwhile, Booker T doesn't have a whole lot of ultimates. So, though it sucked, Nano Reaper versus 3 Owasso ults, they still have a very strong position here.
Yeah, I think here, even if they try to Nano Reaper into Owasso, Owasso will just use Orisa ult in return, or just Orisa push. Use the spear.
See a big hook, but it's not quite able to land on anything. Meanwhile, we got this OC carry ult. Booker T still has yet to use anything, and they're just going to want to regroup after that one. Another 2 ultimates used from Owasso. Meanwhile, Booker T trying to build something. They're not quite getting what they want.
Yeah, we finally saw a good hold there by Owasso. They were able to use those ults effectively in order to get those kills, still being able to keep that Orisa ult, which is important. They're going to need it.
It's going to be all about this spear in their sleep. They need to counter the Reaper Nano. Hog's going to walk it down main.
And we may even just see the Nano on the Hog.
Drew, this might be the time, but he doesn't.
Yeah, there it is.
He wasn't able to calm that he didn't have the hook. And now, Roadhog's kind of just getting space. And a huge pick comes out from Reflex in the back line. And Booker T is going to have to fall back and regroup again. Meanwhile, Owasso has been building up these ultimates. And honestly, they're kind of outpacing Booker T in some areas. I don't think we've seen this Roadhog go above 52 or this 40 range in a long time. Orisa's full sending it, has the ultimate, not too scared.
And I mean, this is a great place for Orisa to hold. The second that they walk through, all Orisa has to do is walk forward a little bit, press Q.
The Roadhog going on the flank here, going for the classic bronze 3. Will it be enough? But it's immediately punished. Orisa still is all in line, and they're
another blade.
Hold some
this time.
Here. Unfortunately, not able to get that final shift, but it doesn't matter.
It is enough.
Look at the ult economy. OC has spelled a lot of problems for Owasso in the past. They don't have a nano for it. Meanwhile, Orisa ult and nano is still online, as well as OC. Owasso is doing so much better at scaling these ultimates.
All right, and there it is. The Nano getting 2 kills.
Orisa ult.
Owasso.
Wow.
We were talking about how Booker T was just walking through Owasso, and Owasso held.
As soon as they turn that corner, the end of their momentum happened. They weren't able to get value with that Reaper the whole entire time. And I ultimately think that's what spelled the issue, because you have your Sojourn, but in that map, in that point, it's too tight. There's too many walls for Sojourn to take space and to land those right clicks. And if you're not able to push through, which running Roadhog against Orisa, it's difficult. I still think Booker T has a very strong potential to hold this out, though. We've seen them perform really well across this best of 5, and all they need to do is figure out what comp is going to get them there. And they're locking the Roadhog Soj once again.
I was wondering if we were going to see something coming from Booker T that was different, something that was more of a hold. It looks like we are going to have another tech pause here. I was wondering that if Booker T would run something different, but it looks like they're not going to. They don't want to run anything that's more solid, that's more for a hold. They still want to get all of that value out of OJ with those hooks.
But I just don't know if they can get the value that they're looking for, especially on defense. It's all going to be about the space they can control, and if they can keep their Sojourn in the position that will actively get position, will get the value. They are swapping to Mei, so the ice fishing might help them a little bit more to get those kills that they're looking for. But Orisa has been doing such a good job at making sure gold is available when the hook is engaged, that the nade isn't just going to insta-kill him. Because the thing about Orisa, you might be antied, but you can just pop gold. You're still going to be in the fight. You don't need cleanse to save you. Where Roadhog, It's a completely different story.
Well, and with that swap to Mei, and we're going to swap again. I was going to say that the swap to Mei means that Hog can focus on off tanking, but not if we're going to be running a sim into this. I mean, do you have any idea what they're planning with a sim on defense?
Potentially to TP away when they feel like they're being walked on too hard, to control the side high ground with those turrets. Or play a very close quarter section on the left side when they want to teleport. I mean, I see the potential in it, but ultimately your sim's not going to do a whole lot from the high ground position unless they walk on you.
Yeah, I mean, and we see here that I was going to assume that Orisa was just going to start walking up the side.
Well, you know, you got to remember too.
Orisa gets hooked, naded.
Orisa can't block the Symmetra. So it could be they just want to counter this Sojourn or counter this Orisa. But right now, as you can see, they're walking payload for free. They're finally going to have to touch here to apply that pressure. And they're still just walking away with distance.
I mean, Owasso held them for so long that there is every meter counts here. Booker T needs to make sure that they're not pushing.
And unfortunately, it just doesn't look like Booker T is able to figure out what their game plan is here. Even though they won this fight, there was almost no resistance for 89 meters.
I mean, look at Owasso right now. We're almost at 2 ults.
3. We're about to see.
Yes, with the Kiri.
Yeah.
And Booker T, Booker T's
ultimately.
also close to ults.
Probably Nano Orisa. Immediately seeing that Orisa get hooked once again, and he can't block a Sim Laser. Roadhog trying to eat that damage for the Symmetra. Hook onto the Roadhog, or onto the Orisa once again as well. Genji can't deflect it either, but we're gonna see this ult engaged. Will it be enough though? Trying to burn that Roadhog. Kills flying all over the place, but nothing is set yet. Both supports still online. And Booker T holds. Fantastic defense for Booker T. Owasso did engage the Orisa Nano, while Booker T used the OC and support ult.
I mean, we were over here talking smack about the Sim, but honestly, I think the Sim is putting in some work, especially against the Orisa, because you're right, Orisa's not going to be able to block it.
And Genji can't deflect it either. It's all kind of a problem that they have to adapt to, or they could lose this.
This ends now.
I see the OC engage. Roadhog using the spacing. Oh, we see the blade in the back. It's 1. Isn't able to get 2, but can his team put up the slack? They kill the Roadhog, and they should get it here unless the Sojourn lives. They are going to get it. A fantastic nade, but it's not going to be enough. They need to run away.
And instead, both supports are going to get killed.
I really liked Booker T's hold there. It was very smart to run the sim there. I just didn't see the vision, but it was working. But of course, as soon as you lose that Roadhog, it's over. You don't have any other tank to keep you alive. And Orisa has so much survivability.
Yeah, it's something where it needs to be almost like a triple combination where you get the hook, the nade, and the sim at the exact same time. And if any of those aren't perfectly aligned, then Orisa is not going to die there.
Orisa looking for an ult here, trying to group up with the team. And the timing.
And an absolutely insane spear.
But it might be way too much damage unless they kill the sim. This might be winnable. They are going to engage the Kiri ult. They want to win this.
Yeah, Owasso pushing forward, getting those 2 kills.
Roadhog's still alive, but the Nano's going to be engaged. They're walking it. Kiri has to, but Kiri can't touch. and Owasso wins map 5 of losers finals. What a fantastic game from both these teams.
Absolutely neck and neck the entire time, going into overtime for most of these games. I mean, we saw that Owasso was just getting so much value out of this Orisa, and Booker T was trying to make plans. They made plans, and they did really well on that defense, but ultimately they were not able to get that value out of it. So Owasso will be moving on to grand finals here in just a little bit.